Hi, my name is RJ from the AZN Media. Going over and reviewing the PMI Smoke Ninja, which is the little brother and the newest addition from the PMI group to the Smoke Genie, which is the larger brother that is used to create a larger volume of smoke for like larger spaces. This was more designed for smaller areas in quick bursts, so great for photographers or maybe quick film sets where you just needed something small and light rather than the bigger twin. Now, comes with this nice hard case. Remote was in here. It packaged relatively well and came boxed up and nothing was broken or missing. Now, the one you're going to get probably will not include a secondary canister. That was part of the Kickstarter. I'm going to pay extra for that, I believe. Another thing to note is when I got my Cloud Formula or the vape juice, it was kind of leaking. The top wasn't fully secure. That's why there's a paper towel in here. So just double check that this is sealed. That was a bummer, but that was the worst thing that's happened so far. You're supposed to charge it for 3 hours prior to using it. Comes with an 8650 battery, which you can see by pulling down here. You can access the battery. Charging can be done through the USB-C port found in the front. This red ring around here is just a personal identification for me to let me know that this is my product or my item. I used to do it in most of the things I use, so that way I can quickly ID things in the area. They give you these orange caps, so when there's still fluid inside the canister, it doesn't leak out and it's retained. And they say you can keep fluid in here for about 2 to 3 days, but then you have to empty it out or put it in a sealed container like this one. So, why would you want one of these? What would you use it for? If you're a big user of flash or lasers or atmospheric spray or constant direct light, this could be a good use case for you to create atmosphere and depth to your images. Same if you're like into product photography. So the use is to hit the power button, which is the topmost button, hit it 3 times, 1, 2, 3. They simplified the user interface compared to the Smoke Genie, which basically has multiple different options and volumes to set, like the amount of juice you let out versus the output or heat, so that way you can make the smoke thicker, thinner, more volumetric. This one, they just give you 3 options. Do you want fog? Do you want dry ice? Or do you want steam? No fuss. Which I appreciate because I don't have time to really kind of think about it. They color-coded these though. So white is for the fog, and the button to fire it is on the back here, or you can use the remote that comes included. So fog, that comes out, is a decent thickness. It doesn't really like have weight to it, it just lingers in the air. Smell is pretty much non-existent. Consider it basically like a vape, because that's essentially what it is. It's VG and PG juice without any nicotine or flavoring or smell. Now, next one on here is dry ice. I should also bring up another fact. So with the bigger model, it's bigger, so you have a larger heatsink and mass to like dissipate the heat. This is smaller, so you have to make some compromises. So on the fog mode, that can run continuously for 60 seconds, and after you hit the 60-second limit, it's going to have to pause for 3 seconds, and then after 3 seconds, every second you don't use it, after the 3 seconds, you gain an additional second up to 60 seconds. So if I didn't use this for 15 seconds after it stopped, I'd get 12 seconds back after I pay the 3-second penalty of just having it wait for a second, if I didn't wait for the full 60 seconds for it to fully cool off. The second mode is dry ice, which you use with this attachment. It is got on an elbow that articulates and a sponge to help diffuse. It's advised never really have this like more than parallel over to keep the juice from coming up through the top. So that's why they have this guy at an angle, so that way you can drip it down. So you'll notice that some of the smoke does go up, but a fair bit of it is actually heavy. This mode only lasts for 30 seconds because of how much more dense it is. So you can see how it's basically staying in my hands. So good for effects if you want to, let's say, create a ball and then like push it towards the lens or something along those lines. Or maybe to fill a glass or a table around the product you're shooting to give it more atmosphere or effect. Going back now to the nozzle, the last mode is steam, which is orange, and I don't know if I noticed stated this, the dry ice is blue. So it's steam. You'll notice that it's relatively light in usage. So this thing, steam mode, lasts for a minute and 30. The reason why I can go longer is, okay, so that lack of thick of volumetric smoke versus now the fog mode, which is a lot more dense. Some other cool features they included with this, and when they thought with mobility in mind, is mounting attachments. So you have a tripod mount, and they have these notches on the side here. So when you open the battery compartment, you just slide these guys in, and then the other one, you have a magnetic mount. Now you can go on either side, but just putting one on each side just for reference. Now you can either attach it to a tripod mount or attach it to something that is magnetic, and with your included remote, use it from a distance. So that way, you're not constantly having to run there, fan this smoke, let it build, and then run back to take the picture or the video. You can do it from a distance. Now, like I was mentioning before, this is essentially like vape juice. It is vegetable glycerin, propyl glycol. These are $35 for 100 milliliters, which is supposed to last 200 minutes. From what I've read online, they're saying that it's a 50-50 mix. Now, the mix is proprietary, but from math, that's what they're assuming it is. I would still probably just buy the regular one, but right now, this is out of stock at the moment because everyone kind of bought them up in anticipation for this. I bought 2 extra bottles. I'm still working on my first one that they included, and I am only maybe a fifth of the way through it. And a good bit of it's still in here. So, do I like it? Do I find it useful? Is it value added? Yes, I like the device. It's simple, easy to use, and more plug and play than its older brother. I think the price is right for $250 just to get your foot into the door to figure out if this is something that's worth it to you. If you're considering a device like this, there is some merit to it then, especially again if you're using flashes or harsh lights or atmospheric sprays already, which are expensive per can. This is not a bad way to go, and it's small and portable. This was also a Kickstarter campaign, so most of the Kickstarter backers should have gotten their products, but there's still unfortunately a backlog apparently of some people in the Facebook group that haven't received these yet. So there's a little bit of backlash going on that people are seeing that these are now currently for sale on B&H. But I have to say, I've been through a couple Kickstarters, and the fact that they basically use this as a way to gauge how many of them do we have to make and then ship them out. So this was the fastest turnaround time that I could expect from Kickstarter. I think I waited a month and a half, 2 months. Cool. And I was late to the game too. Also, last note, they don't recommend you keeping the juice in this tank for an extended period of time. Not longer than 2 days. They gave you these orange caps to like plug it up at the top to kind of seal it. Now, I did get an extra tank for when this coil friendly burns out, but they say basically just take the tank off and put it in this canister and then just lock it. That's to prevent the juice from leaking out and just making a mess. Also, if you just get this for the first time and you're getting like this red error, just do a quick double check, unscrew it, make sure it's dry around the ring before you add liquid or fluid, And then after that, snugly make it tight. So that way you have full contact. So a couple people who initially bought these didn't check if they were on tightly, and it was causing like a red error and wouldn't let the smoke machine work. So yes, I think it's good value if you can see yourself using it. And I think it would be more of a tool if you're into this genre of photography or videography, especially if you considered the cost of sprays and such and the amount of volume you can get out of this. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. If you like the channel, please subscribe. Make up more content related to photography, videography, and tech. Again, my name is RJ from theaznmedia.com. Hope you have a great day. Take care now.